Okay guys, I want to talk about this next deck here. This deck is called the Faithful United. This deck, you'll see there's a pretty interesting combo here. This is Rabble Rousing, and it combos real good with Hallowed Haunting, and you'll see exactly why. I'll read you the cards here. It says, when a creature you control attacks, create X Celestia citizen tokens. X is 1 plus the number of that creature's reinforcements. At the beginning of your turn, if you control 10 or more creature cards, including their reinforcements, move the first card with hidden from your exile to your hand against full mana. So this is a really good card. It's going to help you load up on these citizen tokens. And it really does a good job, as I mentioned, with this card here, Hallowed Haunting. Hallowed Haunting says when a support card enters into play under your control, increase this card's level by 1. While on the board, if this card's level is 6 or more, your creatures gain flying and vigilance. When you cast a card, if that card is a support card, create 4 spirit tokens. This bottom part is the most important part of this deck here, well, of this card. It says when you cast a card, if it's a support, you create 4 white spirits. Now, what we're going to try to do is, hopefully we can get this card down, right? That's going to allow us to have 4 spirits. If possible, we'll get this card down next, and that will basically use this first ability in a great way. It says when a creature you control, so those 4 spirits, when they attack, create X Celestia tokens, right? And that's 1 plus the number of that creature's reinforcements. So 1 plus the reinforcement would basically means you got 4 spirits here. You would be able to add 1, and that's how many of these tokens you would be able to have. Now, on your next turn, of course, what's going to happen is these 4 white spirits will attack again. You'll be able to make more of these Celestia citizen tokens, and then the first ones that you made last turn will attack as well. And those will start to, as you see, become a big snowball of creatures, and they'll gain exponentially strong. So you'll be able to see that hopefully when I show you the gameplay. What I wanted to do is I wanted to point out that this is an important deck for you to use if you're using Nahiri, Heir of the Ancients. And the reason for that is because when you take a look at Nahiri's abilities, you'll see that this Blade of the Ancients is really powerful, and with a deck that looks sort of like this. I'll read you what it says here. It says create a Blade of the Ancients token. Here's what the Blade of the Ancients looks like. It says at the beginning of combat on your turn, reinforce the first creature X times until end of turn. X is a number of other creatures and other creature reinforcements that you control. When your first creature attacks, deal Y damage to any opposing target. Y is the number of equipment supports and equipment support reinforcements you control. Now, the reason that this is so good is because of this part here. Basically, you're going to be able to buff your creatures really big, really strong. And really, how big, how strong, that depends on how many other creatures and how many other creature reinforcements you have. You're going to see that the more you have, the more creature reinforcements you have, the more creatures you have, the more strong your card will be. That's why this is important. You're going to create white spirits. That's going to help you to reinforce that original creature. And then you're going to make a load of Celestia citizen tokens. That's going to be able to buff this first creature to ridiculous amounts. Alright, so that's the big part of this deck. I like Faithbound Judge here. Also, this one helps you to gain a nice amount of defense because he'll block, plus he doesn't take any damage. And if he does end up dying in the graveyard, you're going to be able to convert a lot of white gems here, white gems here. And when you match those white gems, you're going to be able to pull up a Sinner's Judgment token. And this one is great for helping you to get loyalty points. So really, this one is kind of an important card. If you don't have it, that's fine. Make sure you got these 2 up here, and make sure you, of course, have a big creature that you're willing to buff. Alright, let's see some gameplay. With this gameplay, I'm hoping to reach that final ability and use it, and kind of like I mentioned with other videos, I like to think of this as a real good finishing move. So kind of like, I don't know how many of you guys watch wrestling when we were younger. Wrestling's got guys, right, that's got like finishing moves like Stone Cold Stunner and whatever, and you know that when they hit that Stone Cold Stunner, that game is over, that match is over, right? So that's what we're trying to build here. and we're going to see if we can get those 2 cards I mentioned out and see if that's going to be able to help us. Now, our first draws, as you see, doesn't provide the Rabble Rousing card. It also doesn't provide the Hallowed Haunting card. So we're going to just have to do the best we can and play this in a way that's going to allow us to make use of those cards when they do come out. Wow, looks like we got 3 of the Halo Fountains. Probably won't be needing all 3, so we'll just get rid of 1 right now. Those of you that don't have Nahiri, this is Nahiri 2. Take a look here. I suggest picking her up. She's one of the easier ones to build for. She's got a nice good mana spread here, and like I mentioned, this Blade of the Ancients, if you build your deck correctly, that's just completely devastating. And hopefully we'll see that with this video here today. Alright, so we got Tamayo down. That's a good one. She is at some point going to be able to give us free cards. We're going to just have to see. Okay. At this point, doesn't look like there's a lot we can do. Oh, I should have used my support, but hey, that's alright. Okay, let's get rid of this. So we already have one. And that one as well. There's our Hallowed Haunting. That's great. So as I mentioned, Hallowed Haunting, as soon as a support comes down, you're going to be able to gain those very important white spirit tokens. Ooh, Jaliba comes down. Jaliba's a dangerous card. We have to watch out because they're going to be able to exile a whole lot of cards, and if they play this correct, there's some good combos out there that's going to be able to do a ton of damage to me, so we're going to have to be really careful here. Alright. At some point, it'd be nice if we can get our Rabble Rousing going. We might have to wait a little while, it looks like, though. Not too much going on here. You know, at times like this is what I like to refer to as a dry mana board. Dry mana boards kind of are the worst, right? Because you don't have a lot of moves. There's not a ton of cascades there. So very fortunately for us, we have our Tamayo Field Researcher. She says basically at the beginning of your turn, if you got 7 shields on this support, all of the stuff in your hand is going to be free. That's why it's important to keep powering it up here with the draw card. Alright, we're going to move this guy up. Now we're not really gaining anything here just because we don't have anything to actually power up. But what's good is if you take a look, we have achieved that 3rd ability. We're going to be able to use that most likely next turn. And what you'll see is that it's going to power up one of my creatures really, really big, really, really strong. And the one that's going to come out, of course, to be powered up is coming up next. It's the Big Judge. That's what I like to call him. There we go, the Faithbound Judge. So here's the thing, if your opponent can't kill your creatures this turn, and they're not able to, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Do we want to replace a card? Yeah, let's go with that, please. And now, see, it asked me if I wanted to put in that other creature. The answer could have been yes or no either way. The reason being is you have your ability here. You're able to use that. So we're going to use it. Blade of the Ancients. I mentioned at the beginning of this video, it basically says here, at the beginning of combat on your turn, reinforce your first creature X times. X is the number of creatures that you got, including the reinforcements. So this is my first creature. We're going to be able to reinforce him 1, 2, plus the reinforcements, 15, that's 17, 18 here. All right. I'm looking what else we have in the hand, and we may be able to pump it up. We're going to be able to pump it up a little more, but at this point, we don't really have to because we're going to get the victory anyway. Now let's take a look. This is a finishing move. This is the rock bottom of the Stone Cold Stunner here. This is going to finish the game for us. Oh, actually it doesn't. Must not be able to do math very well, but that's fine. We got a big shot here. We're going to be able to beat them next turn. Jaleva's coming out. Let's see what else they can do. It's not much. And here we are. This is, of course, this is the game right here. This is the victory. We saw how he got pumped up really, really big. He's going to get that done one more time, and that's going to be enough to finish this game here. Oop, there it is. Nice and big. Do we want to deal damage to an opposing creature or planeswalker? Yeah, we'll do that. Alright, there you go, folks. Now, just like every other video, you know, I want you to like and subscribe. That really helps the channel, of course. And you know what? In the comment section, put down whatever you want, right? We're trying to make a community out here where we can help everybody. Alright, so if you don't have a certain card, then suggest, hey, you know what? I need help. I don't got that certain card. Can you guys suggest for me another card? And then the community out here that we're hoping to build will be able to give you some support there. Alright, guys. We hope you like the deck. And have a good day.